eat healthy and spend less? The first thing I want us to note is that it's possible to eat healthy without breaking the bank. You can eat healthy without spending more money than your budget. Determine why you need to save money, and then the goal will encourage you to choose the right kinds of food and to avoid wasting money. Before we go on to the heart of the webinar, I'd like to define a few words. What do we mean by food? Food is any nutritious substance that can provide the necessary materials for the function of life, for maintaining life, for growth, for development, any substance that can give us the nutrients that are needed to support growth, to support development. That's what we refer to as food. Diet is the combination of foods that are eaten habitually. So you will notice right from the word diet that is quite different from food. From that definition, that means when you combine different foods, the way you combine different foods, that's what is referred to as diet. The nutrients, the substances in food that are necessary to maintain good health. So that tells us that there are some substances in food that are not necessary to maintain good health. So the ones that are necessary to maintain good health, that's what we refer to as nutrients. So after today, don't call food nutrients. I don't call nutrients food. They are different. And that understanding the difference will help you to navigate this food journey. What is balanced diet? Some people also confuse balanced diet and healthy diet. And if you don't know the difference, you can spend money on foods that you are struggling to balance, but they are not necessarily healthy. Okay, so balanced diet means the proper proportion of all nutrients. When diet contains the proper proportion of all nutrients, that's what it means to be balanced. But it's not enough for diet to be balanced. It must be healthy. So healthy diet is our goal. Healthy diet is what we're discussing today. And it means combination of foods that are good for your body, prepared in a healthful manner and in appropriate quantities. Food items that are consumed must maintain health. If it just has all the nutrients, but it's not maintaining your health, it's not helping you to improve your health, then it's not healthy, and being balanced is not enough. So we must ensure that the combination of foods that we take support healthy diet. And this healthy diet is very important. That's the most important measure for your health. So if it's the most important measure, then you need to budget adequate resources for it. Many people don't budget for food. They just keep spending. You just feel, oh, I need to buy this to buy. I need to buy that to buy. No, it's very important to budget and get knowledge. That's what you are getting today. But please, beyond what you're getting today, make sure you read books on nutrition. Make sure you make people that know about nutrition your friends so that you can ask questions from time to time. It's very important to invest in health. Health is wealth. And when people eat unhealthy, they don't know that they're actually going on an expensive journey. When you eat the wrong things, it's expensive because they will cause diseases that will be very difficult to manage or very expensive to manage. So at the end of the day, they waste a lot of money. So you see that there's nothing like cheap food that is cheap forever. Something may appear cheap today, but if it's going to cause obesity, diabetes, hypertension, cancer, that food is not cheap. It's very, very expensive if it's going to cost you a lot to maintain your health later, just because you were eating that kind of food. So now let's go to the tips for eating healthy and spending less. Please note that some of the principles I've been mentioning may not apply to you. So don't say, Dr. Olatona, oh, this thing is not relevant to me. Well, we are all different. Some things will not be relevant to you and they'll be relevant to some other people. Why don't you just pick the ones that are relevant to you? And the ones that are not relevant now, leave them. It might be relevant for other people. There are some methods people use and are not good. Let me start from those methods. Eating junks because you think you can't afford the right kind of food is not cheap. I see a lot of people, they buy carbonated soft drinks and they snack, and you ask them, why are you eating this? They say, I don't have plenty money to buy food. That's why I'm just eating these snacks. It's not right. I think it's just ignorance. Because if you look at the amount of money they spend on a bottle of drink, maybe 300 or 400 naira if you're in Nigeria, the meat pie may be another 300 naira, that's 600 naira. Let's assume that somebody is on a very low budget and wants to spend less than 1,000 to eat a meal in Nigeria of today. If you buy fufu or eba with one piece of meat, that's safer. You can get that for 600. That's safer for health than taking a bottle of drinks and a snack. Apart from that, if you cook your meal at home, that 600 naira might give you a full meal, not just managing one fufu wrap and one piece of meat. That 600 naira can even feed one well if you cook it directly. You might not have all the exotic fruits, exotic vegetable, and several pieces of meat, but you can get small fishes and get a nice meal on that low budget. But I'm not encouraging you to have low budget for food. I'm encouraging you to have a moderate budget, because food is more important than dresses. Food is more important than your wig. It's more important than every other thing. So we should have a moderate budget for food and low budget for things that don't last. The body copes better with 3 or 4 small meals in a day than 1 or 2 large meals. Therefore, don't skip meals. I've heard some people talk about skipping meals to manage money. No, it's not. You are not managing money. You are not saving costs, because if you skip meals and you develop challenges that result from not eating well, it's expensive in the long run. It's expensive. Don't do that. Now, let's go to the meat of the discussion. I have more than 10 tips for you today. 10 tips to eat healthy and spend less. The first one, be honest with yourself. Be realistic. Do you want to feel rich or you want to be rich? That's why I told you to have a goal. What's your goal? What do you want to achieve? If you want to be rich, you want to have resources that you can spend on important things when you need it. Then don't just go to a supermarket and start picking things. You know, there's a feeling, you feel good when you go to a supermarket and you're picking things, just picking different things, and your basket is full. That's feeling rich. That's not what it means to be rich. Don't do that. Ask yourself, what do you really need? If you know what you need and you have the resources to purchase what you need, that's good. That's better than just feeling rich and buying the things you don't need. Be realistic. If you don't reduce your spending, you can't reduce your expenses. Very simple, very straightforward. Be sincere with yourself. You must buy less if you must spend less. Decide what you really need. Buy just that and be happy. Go home. But if you like shopping, just picking things and feeling good, you're likely to waste a lot of money. And that may not be healthy, because some of the things you buy to fuel your ego, they are junks. They are things that are not useful for your body. You know, we are talking about health today. Number 2, understand basic nutrition principles. If you lack understanding, you will waste money. Many times we just pay for our ignorance. Pay for pay to learn, and then manage your resources. Very, very simple, right? There are many principles you need to learn. So you need to read books on nutrition. And when you pick packaged foods or tinned foods, make sure you read the food label. What's written on it? Don't just assume. Some people buy diet drinks thinking that it's safer for them. No, it's not safer. It's not in any way safer. So you need that knowledge to know that buying diet drinks is as bad or probably worse than buying regular drinks. You spend the money available on the food needed if you have knowledge. More knowledge, better decision, wiser decision, informed decision. Number 3, have a budget. Have a budget. What's your revenue? What expenditure do you have in mind? Concerning other things, concerning food, put them down. Let there be a budget. When you have a budget, life is simpler, and make sure you keep to your budget. Some people have a budget, but they don't keep to it. There must be a budget. How much do you want to spend on food this month? Because if there's no budget and you end up spending that money on dresses, then you're doing your body a lot of harm. Because if you get to the middle of the month and money is finished, what do? You end up buying things that are not good for your body just to fill your stomach. The next point is have a menu. What do you want to eat this week? What's your menu? Some people don't have any menu. They just wake up and say, I feel like eating rice. You eat rice today. Tomorrow, I feel like eating rice. You eat rice again. You end up eating the same kind of food. That food will be shortage in your pantry, and other kinds of food are not being consumed. They're wasting away. They can get wasted. But if you have a plan, you have a menu, you ensure that you're buying only what you need. Just buy what you need. Don't stock your house with what you don't need, or you're not sure of the day you will need it. Very, very important. And stick to your menu as much as you can. Oh, this doesn't mean you should suffer. Somebody thinks that whenever you talk of diets, it means dieting. No, healthy diet doesn't mean you should be miserable. It just means that you eat the right kind of things. And if there's anything you crave, you really feel like eating, you don't need to punish yourself. Just eat a little and discipline yourself not to take too much of it. It's as simple as that. That's why I don't keep cakes at home, because that temptation will be very high to just take a little. Anything you know is not good for you, don't keep them in your house. Number 5, make a grocery list for a week or a month. You have a menu, you have a budget, then make a list of the things you want to buy. Since you have a budget, if your list contains something very expensive, you will definitely remember to exchange it for a cheaper alternative. But if you don't have any plan, no budget, no menu, no grocery list, you just go to the supermarket shopping, you buy some things, you feel cool, but on getting home, you realize that you can't prepare the meal without some other things that you forgot to buy, and that will be a problem. If you need to buy very close to the house, maybe you buy it more expensive in your estate, and that's going to defeat your purpose. So make a list. And while shopping, stick to your list. Don't buy things just because they're on sales. This is a very common way of wasting money. Some people like to shop what's on sale, but what is on sales may not be what you need. And you may not like it later. You just bought it because you think it's saving you some money. It's not worth it. But if what you need is on sales, fantastic. It's a good idea to buy what is on sales if you need it. And don't be distracted while shopping. You have a list, remember. You will see some things that are interesting along your route. You will see some other people shopping. You know, whenever I go shopping and I see packs and packs of drinks and biscuits and all kinds of pasta, I just wonder, you mean people are complaining that there's no money and they're buying all these things that would be harmful to your body, and you see a lot of cartons of drinks all over the place. Somebody in this country is buying those things and is complaining that things are expensive, there's no money to feed well. Stop buying the wrong things. You have enough money to buy the right things. The next point, number 6, please shop your kitchen and freezer before you go shopping. Some people have meat of 5 months in their freezer. Cooked food of 3 months in the freezer. The freezer is so full that they don't even know what is there. Then they go shopping and buy the same thing. These are simple ways people waste money. Before you go shopping, please shop your freezer. Shop your freezer, shop your pantry, check everything. Take a good stock of what you have. And then you know what you need. That's the first thing to do. Number 7, find out cheaper places to shop. Don't continue shopping in the same place. Just ask. There might be a new place. I remember when I first moved to my current estate where I lived, I used to engage someone to shop. And then suddenly I noticed that some people sell groceries close to our estate. And it's very easy to shop there. You just park there, and within a few minutes, you can buy the things you need to buy. I discovered that alternative, but I tell you, I'm still searching for a better alternative. I keep searching. Sometimes I'm not able to go to a far place, to burn fuel, to shop. I know where the cheapest things are, but you need to juggle everything. You need to weigh the benefits and your expenses, because sometimes you may feel things are cheapest in this particular market, but you're going to drive there and use fuel. That fuel, if you don't do your cost-benefit analysis, the amount of fuel you expend might be more than what you're gaining if you had bought the groceries close to your house. So I keep checking. Make sure you keep checking. But if you usually shop in big malls like Ikeja City Mall, ShopRite, if you buy groceries there, I can tell you almost 100% sure that that's more expensive than buying in the local market close to you. Think of it. Someone has to pay for the mall. Someone has to pay for that space, and it's going to be more expensive than the grocery store or shop close to the market, to local markets. So you need to check those things and be sure that you're shopping in the correct places. Public wholesale markets will always be better than supermarkets. Number 8, if you have no choice, you can't shop in public wholesale market depending on how busy you are or where you live. Some people live in places where they don't even have access to any public market. What they can afford to do all the time is to shop in supermarket. So the next point I have for such people is find out. There might be another supermarket that will give you cheaper prices, lower prices. So why don't you just check? It might even be within similar radius from your house, and you'll be surprised that you can get them cheaper. So if you don't have a choice but to shop in supermarket, then consider the ones that you can order ahead. Right here in Nigeria today, people can order from supermarkets, and they can pick up later. You've ordered ahead, it's been packaged for you, and you just pick up. You know what you're saving? You're saving yourself distractions, you're saving time. So yeah, sometimes it might be more expensive to order than to go there and buy directly. But if you know yourself, you know that you're easily distracted. You know you buy things impulsively, then order ahead. So you just pick what you've ordered and you go home. So no impulse purchasing on that day. That's a method that can work for some people. But for some of us, we don't order. Some of us don't order food right now. Okay, this stage of my life right now, I don't order. I either send someone to shop in the local markets and bring to my house, or someone shops in bulk for a group of ladies, we pick up. There are different methods. Just find out the one that is cheapest for you at this period in your life. You know, we're all in different periods in our lives. When my children were younger, oh, no, I couldn't go to the market. No time for shopping. I just have to depend on people and pay them off. So find out what's going on in your own life and what is most appropriate for this season of your life. Number 9, don't shop when you are hungry. Simple method, right? Simple tip. If you shop when you are hungry, you know what? You're likely to buy junks to quickly satisfy the hunger, and you are wasting money. That way you waste money. But beyond that, if you shop when you're hungry, you will not be patient. You will not be patient. If you need to negotiate, you won't have the energy. No energy to negotiate. No, you won't be calm enough to negotiate. So you might buy more expensive than you should really. This is applicable to shopping generally, not just shopping for groceries. So don't shop when you are hungry. Go in the evening. If you plan to go to local market, public markets, then go in the evening. You know what? Some people who sell yam or other perishable goods will not like to go home with the rest. So they will prefer to just dispose what they have in the evening. But please make sure you don't buy spoiled food, because there's a risk. If it's too late in the evening, you might not be able to see what you're buying very well, and there's a risk of buying spoiled food. You know what? Spoiled food are dangerous. They're usually cheaper but dangerous, because they can release mycotoxins that can cause cancer in the long run. So you need to check what you are buying. Make sure you're not buying spoiled tomatoes, spoiled pepper, and any other spoiled food. Go in the evening, and then the next point is buy food in bulk. Buy food in bulk. If you don't buy in bulk, what happens? People who sell retail, they make their own gain from the retail. So just imagine that you are one of the customers for those people doing retail. But if you're a customer for those who sell wholesale, you have become like a retailer, and you are going to gain whatever those retailers gain. So it's better to shop in bulk. Sometimes if you allow your monthly budget to control your spending, you might not want to buy a lot because of that month. You want to keep to the monthly budget. But it's better to have a global perspective about your shopping. Even if you have a monthly budget, you can have a plan to buy certain things in one month and buy other things in another month. So that way, you're buying in bulk, you're buying what can be enough for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Some dried foods can stay for 6 months. Yeah. So if you have a plan and you buy in bulk and buy things that can stay for 6 months, next month you can buy other produce that can also stay for another 6 months, not the same product. But please note that buying in bulk depends on your need. That's why it's good to identify your need. That's why it's good to have a list. I remember when my children were growing up, we had domestic help, had some other people around. I couldn't afford to buy a small bowl of beans or small bowl of rice. I was buying large quantities. But right now, in this season of my life, I don't buy as much as I used to buy. If I buy beans in large, if I buy too much beans, that beans will develop weevils. So why buy in bulk? Except you have big freezers where you can store the beans in closed jars and keep in the freezer. So if you don't have that facility, then you shouldn't buy beans that will stay for 3 months. You might develop weevils and give you problems but rice can stay for 6 months if kept safely. Yam flour can stay for 6 months if you keep it safely. Yam can stay for a few weeks. Oats can stay for months. So you need the knowledge of how long these foods can stay on the shelf and buy what your family would need, the current size of your family, what they would need for the next 6 months. Sometimes you feel, oh, I don't have time to do this, and you just want to buy a bag, just buy a bag and leave it there. But that's one way when food gets wasted. And mind you, it depends on who is cooking the food too. We'll talk about that shortly. There are months that will not spoil. That's what I'm encouraging you to buy in bulk. Don't just buy in bulk. Somebody says he wants to buy tomato in bulk and you don't have a big freezer. Where are you going to store the tomato? So it's important to know what you can store. The next point, that should be 12. Number 12, use locally available foods. You don't depend on imported foods. If you always like to buy imported foods, you will waste money. I mean, why would you buy baked beans, open it, pour in a saucepan just because you want to eat beans? No. If you don't like cooking, cook in bulk and keep. Then you can take it, you can dish them in small bowls. Make sure they are glass jars, not plastic jars. Don't store plastic jars in your freezer. So store them in the glass jars and then bring them out and microwave in proper microwave plates. Or you can even heat it if you are not using microwave. I'm not advising you to use microwave all the time. So don't pick that word. Just maybe occasionally, but you can warm it, reheat it and eat. That's better than reheating baked beans. Avoid packaged food. Avoid tinned foods. Just follow the principles of eating healthy. And don't stress searching for kale, asparagus, broccoli, pomegranates, and other exotic fruits and vegetables. Why search for kale when you can eat ugu? It's not necessary that you must eat berries when there are oranges, pawpaw, pineapple close to you. So make use of what is locally available. What is important is to eat fruits and vegetables. It's not the name of the fruits that counts. You don't need to look for exotic foods. Avoid carbonated soft drinks. This wastes people's money a lot. It's not just the sugar that is bad. It also contains acid, and the acid is not good for your body. There's no body that does well on acid in the body. No. Please avoid carbonated soft. Whether regular or diet drink is not good. The next point is please grow your food. You have some spaces in your compound. If you have a space at the back or you have space at the side, you can put sand in old jars, old buckets, and put seeds of vegetables. You can grow vegetables. It's cheaper to grow food and you get better nutrients, better quality, better taste. You can harvest the food at your own time. Imagine that you have plantain in your compound and you get the plantain when it's ripe. You are not eating the one that is forced to be ripe. The taste is different, I can tell you, because I have first-hand experience. I eat plantain from our garden. So if you have soil, you have sand around you, then grow part of your food. The next point is choose cheaper alternatives within a food group. I'll talk about the food groups and I'll talk about the cheaper alternatives shortly. But at this point, I just want to let you know that the nutrients in similar foods are also similar. So if somebody is eating sweet potato and the other person is eating yam, you are getting similar nutrients. So you don't need to stress to buy yam all the time if you have access to sweet potato. The fruits that are in season or the food that are in season are always cheaper. Make use of them. If corn is in season, you can't be complaining that father rice is too expensive, because that corn will do a similar job. And when foods are in season, store them. Some people can store yam in soil in their compound if they have a garden, or you can make yam flour from the yam that is cheap and keep the yam flour. You can keep it for more than 6 months. When palm oil is in season, it's a lot cheaper and you can store it for months. You can store rice, you can store tomato in your freezer. Some people are wondering, do you mean I can eat frozen fruits? Yes, you can eat frozen fruits. It's not bad. It's better than canned, tinned fruits anyway. It's not bad. And if you are not comfortable eating the frozen food as it is, you can make smoothie out of it and enjoy it. You'll still get a lot of nutrients. That's better than spending too much money on the fruits when it's not in season. Keep the fruits in the freezer when they are in season. The next point is cook at home. Home cooked foods are better than ordered food. If you order food, it's okay, I don't go to restaurants. We all know that restaurants' food, they are not good. They are not good to eat all the time. They contain too much oil, too much salt, too much seasonings. They're not good for health. And the portion size is usually larger than what you need. So it's not the best. Somebody goes to a restaurant and buys a pack of rice with chicken for 3,000. You don't want to eat half of that chicken and leave the rest there because you don't want to waste that chicken. But you end up eating more than your body needs. The protein that an average adult needs in a day is just like the size of a pack of cards. So try to imagine the size of a pack of cards compared to the chicken in restaurants. Their chicken is too big for a whole day. You can't afford to eat like that constantly. Please, don't. So we all know it's bad. But the one I need to talk more about is when you order food. Maybe you have somebody who cooks and supplies to your house and it still looks like home cooked food. But that person is interested in tastes and patronage. Therefore, the person will be more interested in putting seasonings that may not necessarily be healthy for you. So when you cook at home, you are interested in health, not taste, not just taste. So you try to balance taste and health. But when people supply you food or you go to restaurants, they're purely interested in taste. And that's the difference. So if you're a lady, you need to explain to your husband so that your husband doesn't think that you have become a bad cook when you are trying to practice healthy diet. And if you're a man, you are listening to me now, encourage your wife to cook. It's not easy to cook. Cooking needs a lot of encouragement, especially if your wife is also a career person. So always say thank you after eating. And that way, you will get better food many more times. And then whoever is cooking should be taught to measure foods. Many people don't measure food. Learn to measure food stuff whenever you want to cook. How much do you really need? How many people are eating this food? That's a good guide. So if 5 people are eating the food, then why cook 10 cups? You want to cook 5 cups or less? Some people will say, but it won't waste. I will eat it. If you eat what your body doesn't need, you are wasting the food. You are wasting it in several ways. First, to pass it out. Secondly, some of them would get stored in your body, cause obesity. And obesity is expensive because it will lead to several diseases that you will need to manage, to need to spend money on. So don't eat what your body doesn't need. Anytime you're eating, immediately you feel satisfied, just stop. Cook large portions if you want to store. I'm not saying you should never cook large portions. Sometimes you can plan to prepare a meal that will be enough for three times. That will be enough that you can eat 3 times. And you store it in the freezer. Store safely in glass jars or ceramic jars. And then you can bring it out later and reheat. Foods like beans, beans pudding, mai, vegetable soup. You can cook large portions and reheat. And that way you will save fuel, you will save time, but make sure you refrigerate leftovers immediately. If you don't refrigerate immediately, it can still get wasted. You can save a lot of money on drinks. What do you drink? If you like keeping drinks in your house, keeping drinks is not a sign of affluence. Please don't think so. Some people keep drinks in their houses, and then the children will come and say, "Mom, can I have one? Mommy, can I take one drink?" And then visitors will come. You are not even thinking, it's not in your thoughts what it's costing you. Meanwhile, you are not doing people a lot of good by giving them several bottles of drinks. So think about it. Other drinks are more expensive than water. And water is healthy. That's what will keep your body healthy. So why not drink water? Oh, some people will tell you, I don't like drinking water. Yeah, I can understand. I used to be like that. I didn't like drinking water. So what the solution? You can put a little lime, a little orange or lemon, and then the water becomes flavored and easy to drink. Some people prefer to drink cold water. Yeah, but if you don't have access to cold water for whatever reason, you can also drink warm water. Slightly warm water is okay and is good for you. Your feces, if you drink enough water, your kidneys will function well, your feces will be less dry, no constipation. You will not get tired easily. You will avoid obesity, and be careful of bottled water. I just realized this week. I was thinking, I think I would like to be buying bottled water. It's easy to drink in the bedroom. Then I did the cost-benefit analysis and I just reversed. I said, for now. But then you need to think about your situation, like I always say. For some people, it's good for them to buy bottled water and drink. Make sure the one you are buying is safe. But for some people, you don't need bottled water. Because if you calculate the cost of the bottle compared to just taking the big jars and pouring it through whatever means you can, it might be cheaper for you. And for people that live in places where the tap water is safe, you can filter the tap water and drink. Or if it's cheaper for you to boil, you can boil water to drink. So these are simple ways you can save money on water. Now, let me talk about fruits and vegetables. How can you save money on fruits and vegetables? I've mentioned some things earlier, but let me add that indigenous fruits are cheaper, and you can freeze them. You can freeze vegetables and you can make smoothie out of them. Making smoothie is cheaper than juicing, but juicing the vegetable has a lot of advantages for health. So during the times that you can't juice, just blend. Even if you don't have a smoothie maker, blend the vegetable and drink it. You are getting the fiber, the antioxidant, phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals. You are getting all the goodness that God has packaged in the vegetables, and that's cheaper for you because you are getting free fiber. Do you know some people buy fiber? They buy fiber supplement. I can't understand it. Some people spend money on fiber supplements. So rather than you spend your money on fiber supplement, when you drink smoothie, you get a lot of fiber. Yeah. The next type of food is roots and tubers. And examples include yam, potato, cassava. This group of food is good for health, but should be eaten in moderate amount. So how can you save money? First, don't eat more than your body needs. that group of food, you don't need more than 4 slices or the equivalent of 4 slices as an adult. So now that you know, any extra is a waste. Don't eat more than 4 slices of yam. Don't take more than 4 slices of potato. You don't need it. But if you don't feel full enough, then fill your stomach with vegetable. And if you still don't feel full, that means your stomach is too large. You need to reduce the size of your stomach. When your stomach is too large, you are wasting food because you are depositing the excess in your body as fat. Now, when yam is in season, it's cheaper. So make use of it. But most times, most time of the year, sweet potato is usually cheaper than yam. Sweet potato is cheaper than Irish potato. So you can make use of sweet potato. It's not compulsory to buy Irish potato. But if you're an Irish potato lover, eat it once in a while. Once in a while, it's fine. That's the way out in that food group. And if you have leftover, you can use it as porridge. If you keep it in the freezer and you don't like the way it turns out to be, you can turn it into porridge and you will enjoy it. Yeah. The next group is grains, and I like to combine grains with legumes. How can we save money on grains? Anytime you prepare grains, add legumes. So even if ofada rice is expensive and you add white beans, you reduce the amount of ofada rice that you're eating. And it's healthier for you because you are getting some nutrients that are available in grains are not available in legumes and vice versa. So combining them will give you good quality protein. But another example is if a particular grain is expensive, then choose another one. So if ofada rice is expensive, you can choose corn when corn is in season and you get more protein, beta carotene, and some other nutrients. Corn flour is also cheaper than wheat flour. We don't eat a lot of corn flour in Nigeria, but South Africans eat a lot of corn flour and we can copy them. Yeah. Local rice can be kept for months, and you can combine it with chickpeas, with beans. Just remember that beans, lentils, chickpeas, and nuts are very good kinds of foods that are versatile. You can combine them with different things to reduce your cost and make your food healthier. Groundnut is another one. Groundnut paste is good. You can add it to pap and make it richer, and it's not very expensive when you compare it to meat. White beans is usually cheaper than honey beans. Peanuts or cashew nuts are usually cheaper than almond nuts. Meat or fish, which one do you prefer? Even if you prefer to eat meat, I'm giving you information today. It's safer to eat fish. But some people are addicted. So if you are one of them, just wean yourself off the meat gradually and you will overcome. So meat is good, fine. Contains protein, fat, vitamins, but fish is healthier. And sometimes cheaper. I know that fish is more expensive than meat now in Nigeria today, but the small fishes are cheaper than the big fishes and cheaper than meat. Why don't you explore them? Some people will say, oh, I don't like the taste. I can never stick it. Just try it. If you need to reduce your costs, try the small fishes. They provide similar amount of proteins if you want to eat for health, not for taste. And then you can skip meat some days of the week. Have you heard of that term? Meatless days. Just have some days of the week where you don't eat meat at all. So on such days, you can eat beans and combine it with corn or with rice, and your body will feel good for it. It's good to have meat fast. Fast. Don't eat meat every day. It's not safe. And if you must eat meat occasionally, then boil rather than fry, because the process of frying is not safe. It releases substances that can lead to cancer. And please avoid imitation meat like veggie burger, soya meat. They are processed foods, and because they are processed, they should be limited. What of milk and egg? How can you save money on milk? It's good to drink milk, yeah. And it's better to drink low-fat milk than full cream milk. I know full cream milk is sweeter, but please limit sweet cream milk. The full cream milk should be limited. The major reason why we drink milk is calcium, and you can get this calcium from other sources like soya, tiger nuts, oats, and other plant-based foods. You can even get calcium from moringa leaves. So why not make your milk? It's cheaper, it's healthier. So if you have started the journey of plant-based milk, maybe you like to buy oat milk or almond milk, you can make it yourself, and that will be cheaper. Just buy the almond or the oat, soak overnight, then grind and sieve. You soak it, you grind it, whether soya or almond, soak it, grind it, sieve it. What you are getting as the juice, that's the milk, and that's how the people who process it. So why not do that at home and get it cheaper? Replace meat with eggs occasionally. So I'm not encouraging you to eat eggs every day. The same way meat should be limited, eggs should also be limited to 2 to 3 in a week. And then the last group of food is fat and oil. Please limit your intake. You can save money on oil. You don't need more than a spoon in a day. I mean less than 1 tablespoon in a day, the whole amount of oil that your body needs. So why pour a lot of oil in the saucepan and fry until everybody is choked before you now pour your sauce? It's not necessary. You are wasting the oil. And then some people cook with butter or lard. It's expensive. Don't cook with butter. Use plant-based oil for cooking. Olive oil is the best. Plan your cooking. Avoid butter, avoid lard. You know, these substances block vessels. They can cause stroke. Why spend money on something that can cause problems? Use a spoon to add plant oil to your food. And then finally, rather than buy digestive enzymes to make your digestion better, or you buy prebiotics or probiotics, just make it an habit to eat fermented grains. Pap, very important. Yogurt, you can get prebiotics, probiotics, and that way you are saving money. Pap is not expensive. So you can save money on such substances by taking pap. Simple, straightforward. Now let me talk about other ways of saving money when you eat healthy. You need to know as I wrap up. When you eat healthy, you have better immunity, because junks suppress the immune system and make people sick, ill. So when you eat healthy, your immunity is better. You are saving money that you should have spent traveling to the hospital, time that you should have spent in the hospital. You can use it for something productive. Then when you eat healthy, you sleep better. So when you sleep better, you are more productive. That means less waste in your life. Loss of unnecessary body fat. When you eat healthy, you don't store unnecessary fats. Remember that people that store unnecessary fat spend a lot of money trying to lose it. You know, these things are very funny. You see people in January, they register for different kind of programs. They want to lose weight. They want to lose weight. And then during the year, they're eating cake, biscuits, shawarma, all kinds of things, burger. And then towards the end of the year, oh, it's Christmas, a lot of drinks. And then January, they want to spend money to lose weight. So manage your life. Have a plan and don't indulge in unhealthy food. You will save money that is meant for drugs. You will save money meant for hospital on important things in your life. That brings us to the end of the webinar for today. Thank you for joining me, and God bless you. If you have questions, this is the time for questions now. If you have questions. Anybody who has a question, you can ask verbally or you put your question in the chat room. Okay, so if I assume that there's no question, I told you a lot of things about how you can eat healthy and spend less. The most important thing is that budgeting for food and sticking to the menu that you have planned to be within that budget is important. Avoid distraction. When shopping, avoid impulsive buying. Check your house, take stock, buy only what you need, measure your food, make sure that you're not spending money on what you are throwing into the bin. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, please.
Hello.
I have one question.
Okay.
So you said that we should eat moderately, right? And
Yes.
that we shouldn't eat more than 4 slices of yam, potato, and all that. So what do we eat after eating your breakfast or lunch or dinner and you're hungry? What do you do in between?
Okay. You can snack on vegetables like carrots or garden egg or any vegetable. They don't give you extra calorie because the amount of calorie you expend to burn the vegetable is even more than what you will gain from it. So you can snack on such vegetables. But I prefer that you have a plan, a regular plan that your body is used to, such that you don't eat after 7 p.m. So if you have a plan and your body is used to it, even if you're very hungry at 5 p.m., you can eat a fruit, take a fruit at 5 p.m. and then eat the main dinner 6:30 so that you won't be hungry later and then reach out for junks or any other thing. It's better to complete whatever you're eating before 7 p.m. and then plan to sleep on time. So it's a good idea to have healthy snacks in between meals. And for you to take healthy snacks, that means you must have planned it. Because if there's no plan and you just stumble on something, maybe there's no plan for any particular healthy snack and you are out, you are very hungry, what you will find is likely to be unhealthy. If you go to any shop around, you can get chin-chin, biscuits, and other unhealthy snacks. But if you have planned it, you would have access to healthy snacks. Any other question?
Sorry, one more, Mark.
Okay.
What do you think about nuts? Can we snack on nuts?
Yes, I mentioned it. Nuts is good. Almond nuts is the top of the list. Cashew nuts is also good. Peanuts is also good. But almond nuts is alkaline, so it's the best. But you can eat cashew nuts, eat peanuts, one handful in a day. That's the rule. One handful in a day. So if you are not taking more than one handful, it's healthy. Because nuts also contain a lot of fats. So you can't afford to take a bottle and then anytime you just feel like eating something, you keep eating the nuts without knowing the measurements. So it's good to also measure the amount of nuts that is going into your body, and the recommendation is one handful in a day. If you are interested in our books, Healthy Diets, Weight Control Tips, or Eat Healthy, Spend Less, you can download the books from healthyliving.com. I'll put the web address in the chat room. prohealthyliving.com. You can pick our book. You can download our books from prohealthyliving.com. So when you read the book on healthy diet and weight control, you get full details about each type of food and the best way to eat them, the bad way to avoid. For Eat Healthy, Spend Less, you get the things that we have discussed today and many more in that book. The thrust of that book is how you can manage funds while you eat healthy. And at the back of the book, you would also see African foods and different nutrients that are available in them. Very interesting. So at the back of the book, you can compare cassava and yam, potato, sweet potato and Irish potato. What are the nutrients I can get from each of them, and which one would I prefer to purchase per time? Maybe you want to buy honey beans and you're wondering, honey beans is a lot more expensive than white beans. Is there any extra advantage apart from taste? You can check the nutrients in honey beans, the nutrients in white beans, at the back of that book and compare. Another advantage of the book is you can get a free menu. So if you want me to prepare an individualized menu for you, it's a lot more expensive than just getting the free menu at the back of one book. So at the back of Eat Healthy, Spend Less, there is a free menu for you for 1 week. And at the back of Rich or Poor, Your Child Can Be Malnourished, there's also a menu for children in that book. So you can make use of it. Any other question? Okay, if there's no other question, we'll call it a day and see you next time. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye. Èmi mo fi sísùn sí kinní Ọlọ́run ṣé.